today are just a sign, or a big sign, of the state of the planet in a moment where it is totally threatened by the climate change that is a product of those emissions. And the change and the threat are basically on the poor, on the most vulnerable communities. Those of us who are privileged will have some options in the future, I suppose, but the poor don't. So if we don't tackle both things at the same time, zero poverty and zero emissions in a short term, I would say, we won't be addressing the real problems. Poverty and climate change are totally interrelated. The climate change is a threat to the poorest, as the first sector of society that will suffer from the consequences of climate change. And we have the responsibility to address that through several missions to reduce the impact of climate change, with measures to improve the quality of life of the poor, and that means addressing equality, addressing the development model of today, and addressing emissions. It's not easy to achieve a zero poverty and zero emissions goal, but we have to set a timeline, we have to set a goal, and that's a good goal to have, because you cannot address one without addressing the other. I think that in 30 years' time, we will have a clear path if we work towards that. We won't be able to reduce all emissions in 30 years, but at least we would have a goal to do that in the short term.